So good to have you still here with us, where the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology plans to admit its first cohort of students later this year. The construction of the multi-billion shillings graduate school is at 60% complete. The KONZA Technopolis acting Chief Executive Paul Okwiri says the contractor BOMI E&C Consortium has committed to complete phase 1 of the project by September this year to allow participant students to report to class end of October. Okwiri talked to O'Brien Kimani in the just concluded Connected Summit 2023 in Kwale County.
The KONZA Technopolis is part of Kenya's plan to turn the country into an ICT hub here in Africa. But the project was started back in 2012. This KONZA Technopolis was termed as Africa's Silicon Savannah. This week, we want to have a chat with the acting managing director of KONZA Technopolis. This is Paul Okwiri. We're going to track the program and the progress made in realizing the achievement of KONZA Technopolis. Thank you very much indeed, Paul, for joining us here. In the last 10 or so years of KONZA's existence, what would you say has been your biggest achievement yet?
Yes, thank you very much, O'Brien, for having me in this interview. So, as you've properly mentioned, we started the project in the year 2012 when we were able to have the Gazette notice as was established by our former president, His Excellency Mwai Kibaki. And since that time, we've been able to do the planning, and that's why we were able to take some time just to do the master planning and ensure that everything was in place. All the guidelines we were able to develop so that by the time we started developing the city, we had all the guidelines and as per the master plan. So as the year 2015-2016 came, and we started implementing the master plan. And since then, we've been able to develop the horizontal infrastructure, which is now at 85% completion. We've also been able to develop a national data center, which is as uptime certified, Tier 3 national data center, which is able to provide us with a platform that we so require for the digital transformation that the plan has been able to talk about. Yes. A
lot of people, when they hear of KONZA Technopolis, they believe this is a project that is died many years ago. Nothing is happening there. But what is the reality on the ground?
The reality on the ground is that, of course, we took some time. Because when KONZA Technopolis was started, there was this futuristic designs and futuristic decoration that was given to the public, and everybody was eager to see what KONZA Technopolis would do. But then it came now to work. When it came to work, then we realized that actually we needed to do proper design and master planning. Because we are building a city from scratch. It's not like we already got a city that was already developed. We were building it from scratch, and therefore it required a lot of master planning and development of guidelines to smart city standards. So that is why it took some time before people could start seeing the actual on the ground. And there were also issues to with financing, which took some time to be able to mobilize the kind of capital that was required. And we've gotten a lot of support from the national government that has supported the project as far as financing for the project is concerned. We've now been able to do the horizontal infrastructure, which is basically the mandate that was given to us as KONZA Technopolis Development Authority, to be able to develop the horizontal infrastructure. That is basically the basic infrastructure that would be required by the investor. As you know, KONZA Technopolis was meant to attract investors. KONZA is an investment destination, but investors cannot come to your place if we were not ready with the infrastructure and the utilities that were required. We've been able to now develop the roads, the sewer, the utilities, the high-speed fiber optics. We've been able to do the stormwater, the wastewater treatment reclamation facility, the water treatment plant, and all the connectivity and power. We've been able now to have all the power, all the infrastructure required, so that by the time we get the investors, they'll be able to just do plug and play and move on with the investment.
KONZA Technopolis is a city for who?
KONZA Technopolis is a city for Kenyans. Actually, as you've seen in the discussions going on from day one of this connected summit, the question being asked is that as we are developing a technology city, who are we going to benefit by developing this technological platform? And therefore, it is for all Kenyans. KONZA Technopolis will provide the platform that will help us to develop solutions, to give the citizens solutions to the currently existing problems. And therefore, that's why the platform has been made. And KONZA Technopolis is basically going to achieve that vision. Yes.
You see, since 2012, when the project was officially launched, I know you have managed to do phase 1, which you said is about 80% complete. And this is about 600 acres.
Yes, this is 600 acres.
Would you say that 12 years to develop, 600 acres is a good progress?
Yes, that is good progress, considering the kind of input that has gone into developing the infrastructure to the level where it is today. As I mentioned earlier, we've had 2 issues. One was to begin with the master plan. We had to get the master plan correct, because if that was not correct, then it means any other thing that would have done was not going to make sense. But we've been able to do the master plan correctly, and a lot of resources has gone into it, a lot of thought process has gone to it. We were able to get the master delivery partner 2, that is through Tetra Tech, and we were able to get the kind of thinking that a futuristic city like KONZA Technopolis was supposed to have. Since then, construction also has taken a lot of time, and we are still within the schedule, because we've been able to mobilize the resources first, and then be able to mobilize the construction and the contractor to be on site. At the same time, we've opened up KONZA Technopolis, and we now have investors who have already settled. In phase 1, we have about 147 parcels, and 100 parcels have already been taken by investors. What is left is on the light industrial park, which currently we have 20 investors having discussions on those particular parcels. And very soon, we are working to have 5 investors break ground within this financial year. We've been able to have 20 investors. 20 investors. Yes, they are basically on the industrial park. We have those dealing with the pharmaceuticals. We have those dealing in fiber optics and assembly of devices, which the government has been talking about. Those are the kind of investors that we are currently having discussions with. And we believe with time we'll be able to close all this and then be able to settle and have the investors break ground. Yeah.
As early as last week, the government announced that US biotechnology company Moderna, was going to set up a vaccine facility in Kenya, and there were expectations that Moderna was likely to set up its facility in Africa, in KONZA City. Unfortunately, this never happened, and we understand it is moving to Tatu City. Is this some sort of a setback for KONZA?
No, we don't consider it a setback, because Moderna coming to Kenya, or coming to Tatu, or coming to KONZA, it's still to the benefits of Kenyans. And a facility in Tatu City, it will have the same multiplying effect, even if it was set up in KONZA Technopolis. Yes, Moderna has set up in Tatu, yes, but in KONZA we are also working to have a vaccine, a smart vaccine facility, which is part of the projects that we've been handling with the Korea government, and we'll be having a multi-complex vaccine facility also set up in KONZA Technopolis. We are in the process, and therefore if we have Moderna in Tatu and we have a multi-complex vaccine facility also in KONZA Technopolis, then it is to the benefit of all Kenyans.
How do we make it? How do we make sure that the KONZA Technopolis concept makes sense to the people in Tot Village, in Elgeyo Marakwet, in Kainuk, in Turkana County?
It's simple. Like you know, government is doing a digital transformation, and that will translate to digital economy. And we cannot speak about digital economy if we do not have technology. Therefore, KONZA Technopolis has basically provided that platform. We have a computing cloud environment through our national data center, which we've partnered together with other tech companies to provide solutions. As you know, government cannot be an expert in everything, but government is supposed to facilitate the environment for investors. And these investors are those who are innovators and those who are in the tech industry. And KONZA Technopolis currently has partnered with over 44 partners who are providing solutions to the basic problems that we have. And you know, as KONZA Technopolis, being the innovation hub that we are, we'll be able to churn out these solutions that will be able to provide the much needed improvement to our economy. And at that point, the local Mwananchi in Elgeyo Marakwet will be able to feel the impact that technology has brought to our lives.
They just concluded Connected Summit 2023. You talked about creating smart cities of the future, and you said that KONZA Technopolis is going to offer insight as to how this can be done. Can you elaborate further on that?
Yes, basically it's through the platforms that we are doing. You know very well, of course, I've mentioned about the National Data Center, which is our currently operational. We are also developing Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which is basically a graduate-only university that will be onboarding students, graduate students on STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And that is basically to provide the innovation environment and also to enhance research and development, and also to provide the environment for collaboration between the academia, the government, and all the partners that are in the industry. And with that, we believe that we'll be able to provide research and development and provide solutions to our currently existing problems. And those solutions, when they are provided, we will be able to scale it up. We'll be able to provide an environment for startups to incubate and also to develop these startups and be able to scale them up. Just the same way we have M-Pesa, we would like to have more M-Pesas of this world, and KONZA Technopolis provide that environment that this will be able to impact our country. We are also developing a digital media city. We concluded on the feasibility study, and currently it's undergoing financing stage, and very soon we'll be able to provide an environment for the media, creatives, digital economy, and enhance our creative industry to be able also to generate and impact the GDP. What is the role of KONZA City, or where are you in this matrix of Kenya's digital master plan? Now, in the digital master plan, KONZA Technopolis will provide the host environment where all these data that will be generated will be hosted. And as you know, data is the oil of today, and is also going to impact on how we look into the future. And KONZA Technopolis is providing this environment to host the data, and having hosted the data and generated the data, then we are able to develop more solutions to our existing problems, which will be able now to scale up and generate revenue from. In the government's plan to digitalize government services, where are you seated? We are seated at the foundational level because government knows that for a digital transformation to happen, you need storage, and that is what KONZA Technopolis has provided in the data center. We are also developing the the solutions that will be required to document and digitalize this government transformation agenda as far as digitization is concerned. And you know, as far as digitization concerned, there's also the services aspect of it, where we will be able to generate revenue and also impact on the GDP through the revenue that we'll be generating from the digital transformation.
The government's plan to lay 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic. How are you partnering with the government in this endeavor?
Basically, we've introduced a program. We have several programs that we are running together as a government agency, and also in partnership with other government agencies. For example, on the digital superhighway, we are working together with ICTA to provide connectivity. And in this case, as ICTA is providing connectivity, then we are able to roll out programs. For example, our G2 programs, which seeks to link the youth with the devices, provide them with digital skills, and also link them up with 1 million jobs by the fifth year. It's a program that as the government does the digital transformation and also developing the digital superhighway, then we are able to impact directly to the youth and Kenyans by showing them that actually technology can provide you with the solutions as far as job creation is concerned. And therefore, with that, we believe that the digital transformation agenda and the digital superhighway that is being created by the government will have an immediate impact and will be felt by the citizens.
Mm-hmm. It has taken KONZA Technopolis about 10 years to conclude phase one of this project, which sits on 600 acres of land. You're talking about a project with about 5,000 acres. What do we need to do so that we don't find ourselves in 2032 with another 600 acres?
Now, what we've done, basically what we've done, because we've gone through the journey, of course it was a very first of a kind of project, a key flagship project of Vision 2030. We've been able now to re-engineer what we did for the first one. What we've done now, we've opened up the entire 5,000 acres, which we are mandated to develop. We've been able to master plan now the entire 5,000 acres, so that is completely master planned. We've been able now to generate capital to be able to link the two phases now, because initially we had done phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, but now in the next strategy we've been able to open it up all, and we'll be developing the entire 5,000 acres at once. Basically, we've done the necessary infrastructure in phase 1, so we'll just be linking phase 1 and phase 3 with the infrastructure. So that means we'll not take another 10 years to develop another 600 acres, but we've basically opened up the entire 5,000 acres, and we'll be able to, in fact, we've begun to settle investors in both phases 2 and phases 3.
Mm-hmm. Paul, before I allow you to leave, what is your message to the people out there who are still skeptical about, number one, the viability of KONZA Technopolis, and number two, the existence of KONZA City, KONZA Technopolis, 8 years before we, almost 80 years before we get to the year 2030?
Now, my message to the skepticals is that KONZA Technopolis is happening. We are happening. We've done the necessary infrastructure. We've been able to settle investors, and very soon we'll be breaking ground with at least 5 investors within this year. We've been able to develop state-of-the-art infrastructure that is in our data center. We are developing Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which will also have an impact into our economy. We are going to develop the digital media city, which is going to impact also on our digital economy. As for the skepticals, I would like to say that, as you all know, the plan talks about digital transformation, and we cannot talk about digital transformation if we do not consider where that data will be handled. And KONZA Technopolis provide that platform, provides the infrastructure where all this data will be handled. And as you all know, the future is technology. We are moving into the AI and robotics, and this will only happen if we have the necessary infrastructure to handle this kind of data that will be generated. And as we generate the data, we'll be able to analyze and provide necessary and needed solutions to help us solve our problems in Kenya.
Anything else?
Thank you very much for hosting me. I would like to thank the ICT Authority and Ministry of ICT for holding this very important summit called Connected, which has basically brought on board all the industry players, all the captains of the industry, those who take a critical role, those who do a critical role to transform our country through technology. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed, Paul, for joining us here and, of course, for sharing with us the insights around the construction and progress of KONZA Technopolis.
Thank you.
Very good. You see, I can tell you this for free. When KONZA Technopolis was launched back in the year 2012, I mean, there were a lot of doubts as whether the project was viable in the first place and whether, you know, as a country we had the capacity to develop this kind of a city. When I look back 10 years down the line and when I see what KONZA Technopolis has managed to achieve in the last 10 years, I can confidently say that the future is bright indeed for Kenya's ICT sector. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.